What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to the ATBA Week 4 weekly recap. I'm Fly and I'm here with Bud.
Yo.
This week, people were cooking. The trainers this week were cooking for sure. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of the, of the ATBA this week, because last week was rough. Whether you were playing or you were reviewing, someone had to sit through an hour-long video and take notes. Just the way this week played out was dope. For the most part, there were some unfortunate things that happened. We'll definitely get into it, but for the most part, this week was fun. So we're gonna go ahead and start off. Is there a certain match you want to start off with, or you want to go down the line, or what's up?
I guess we can get Rio versus Matt out the way.
Rio versus Matt.
Jalisco Hawluchas and the Austrian Arcanized. Right. Get that out the way since that one doesn't have a recording.
It does not have a recording.
We just got some notes about the game. You know what I'm saying? Where it looks like Garchomp did its thing. Deli Berry helped it from allowed it to not die to Terra Fairy, Alluring Voice, Jolteon. Garchomp then set up some rocks, which looks like that's how it got some of its kills from there. Sylveon killed it, but then Sylveon got walled by Bastiodon, who was soundproof with Iron Defense.
What a great set.
You know what I'm saying? So it looked like it was some good stuff going on. It was a
good from our notes alone. It looks like it was a solid battle. And I'm kind of sad we don't have footage to actually watch. But like, hey, I'm just proud that I don't sound super dumb when I said, Bastiodon's here,
Trash. Still trash. I don't care.
Bastiodon's here, he picked up some kills. He walled out a Sylveon who went berserk the other week. I mean, hey, Bastiodon's doing his thing,
Fair enough. A win is a win and the kill is a kill.
It
got both of those,
baby. Trash ones, baby. Yeah.
Ooh, that's what we built on. These lower tier ones going. I'm crazy.
Let's go.
But yeah, that was mainly it. Garchomp picked up 3 kills, which based on the notes, it looks like it was just like because Bastiodon was roaring things around and Garchomp set up stealth rocks at a point that I should be saying Matt's Garchomp set up stealth rocks at a point that Rio had no more hazard removal, and then that's how I kind of picked up some KOs there. But I mean, from the notes, it looks pretty straightforward. Bastiodon roaring things out, sitting there as a wall. Sylveon's just trying to keep things alive with the wish and protects as it's getting roared out and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think that it ended in a 4-2 Rio, and I'm not sure if that was timer or it was timer. Okay, it's 4-2 Rio or 4-2 Matt. I'm sorry, and it ended up in a timer going out. But like you said, Garchomp was doing the thing, but even Matt recognized Bastiodon as MVP here in our notes in the results. So there you go. Our next match is Zev, the Alto, Mare, Slush Rush versus the virtual battlers coached by Aster. And this once again was a... Sorry, I'm gonna try to roll over my dog. This once again was a solid match. I mean,
that's putting together some close matches.
He's putting up closer matches than you would expect, especially up against someone like Aster, who is our last season's champion. Zev said I might not have drafted the strongest team, but he's definitely not going to get pushed around. Aster has been playing good.
I was gonna say it's not like last season where every time you looked around it was 5-0, 6-0, So.
Yeah. Aster has been playing this Lapras so well this season. I think it might be their best mon. As far as
I'm still on the Galarian Slowking.
That's
train.
Probably like second. Like if anything, they are neck and neck. The way Aster has been using both of these Pokemon are just amazing, considering they aren't necessarily who. When you look at this team, you go, "Oh, that's the threat,"
Yeah.
First thing you think of is Valiant, and somehow Lapras and Glowking have been putting in tons of work. I'm shocked that Zev actually went with the Terra Dragon this week. And Aster called it, but wasn't expecting it. Like Aster kind of read Zev this week. I'm not gonna hold you.
Definitely read it, and it was just like, he wouldn't do this, right? Right?
He wouldn't do this right here. But they were hoping that it didn't happen. But like, shout out to Zev for bringing the Terra Dragon this week to stop that Typhlosion from demolishing his team.
And that's like, I mean, in general, that's the right thing for Zev to do, because it's a quad fire weakness. You turn that into a resistance.
Yeah.
But also like, water, grass, all that stuff.
Yeah. Dragon's probably one of its best Terras that it gets access to this season. I do think he was a little slow on playing his first session of Snow, if you want to call it that, because he clicked the Snowscape twice, and I think he was a little slow getting Slash on there, because at the end of the day, when Slash finally hit the field, I think it ran out of snow in general altogether, which, I mean, didn't matter too much because it did Terra Dragon, but like, it lost out on the speed.
Yeah, the Slush Rush. It was a mix. Like, it's tough for me because, like, he's... I think probably the tougher part is that he clicked Snowscape with his Empoleon in front of Aster's.
That was such a bold move.
Exactly.
Such a bold move. If Aster was
so then now
invested,
he's thinking like, okay, do I just... Maybe Zev's thinking, I don't want to just let this Empoleon go so I can potentially set it up again later. But I don't want to just swap straight into Sandslash and take a special attack.
Yeah.
So then, like, I gotta go into a buffer in between. Yeah. And the only thing that's gonna take this electric attack that I want, or I'm okay with taking some damage, is my Galvantula. Oh, and then while it's here, I might as well just set up web. So then it's just kind of like,
yeah, it's been a lot of time. It took up a lot of time. I don't remember. I don't think we saw the items for Empoleon, but I don't think it was Rocking the Stone.
I think it was.
You think it was? Okay, I'm
think
not
it was,
quite sure. Because once again, like I said, it feels like it took forever for.
I think it had to, because it
Slash.
Okay, because he sets it up turn 1, he swaps out turn 2 into Galvantula. He webs with Galvantula, then he goes into Sandslash. Then he he ice spinnered, I think the what did he do? No, because something else happened in between there. Did he Swords Dance in between there? Because Glowking was out in the field.
Yeah.
And clicked Future Sight.
Yeah.
And then he ice spinnered the Glowking, but that's when Aster swapped into Thundurus, sacked the Thundurus, just in case it was an EQ coming for Glowking. And then brought in, what did Aster bring in? I forget what Aster brought in, but then he dropped down Sandslash to about half, or maybe a little bit. Oh, that's when he brought in the
Typhlosion.
Typhlosion.
Yeah.
Overheat, brings it down to about half. Gets killed by the Earthquake, and then the Future Sight from the Glowking.
Yeah.
Killed the thing. So that was like 7 turns right there, and the snow was up, I believe, for all of those turns.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, it couldn't have been.
I swear the snow dropped when.
Yeah, because he would outsped the
Typhlo.
Oh wait, was it Typhlosion Scarf? I can't remember.
Aster said the Typhlo was Scarf. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, like the counts for that.
Zev calc.
And that's the other thing.
Sure
there's no way of knowing if Zev calced to outspeed.
Because Zev is the type of person to bring, like mostly HP, mostly attack.
Yeah, Zev likes
and hardly any speed. Like any speed EVs or anything like that. And then the Slush Rush is doing all the work for him. Like And he didn't like calculate it or anything to see what he's going to outspeed. It's just literally like, oh, if Slush Rush outspeeds, it outspeeds. But I'm not going to calculate, make sure that like I outspeed this certain threat, even if they scarf or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like Zev's not that type of person. So I can't remember.
Yeah,
what that was. I can't remember if it lasted that turn, because I think that was like turn 8, and then that's when it dies, and then I think that's when Feraligatr comes in. And
speaking of Glow King in the future sight, I mean, like, once again, oh my god,
I couldn't hear it over here.
But yeah, speaking of like, you know, Glow King and future sight, I mean, this is just a testament. I really wish Zev would see what this mod can do for his team, because Glow King put in so much work against Zev's team with the future sights, the swapping in to tank hits, the swapping out to, and you know, with the regenerator, but and like
free chilly receptions,
the free chilly receptions that he could be getting, like
okay. So the bigger thing to me is how well that, just based off of typing, how well it fits perfectly with Kyurem. So even if you're not looking at it for the snow skate,
so good
for Slush Rush, Sand Slash, like just this, you could chilly reception into Kyurem, and now you got defensive boosted there. But like, oh, Kyurem's weak to fairy, this resist fairy. Kyurem's weak to fighting, this double quad resist fighting. Like,
it's right there.
Oh, this is Glow King's weak to ground. Kyurem is super effective against ground, doesn't resist, but super effective against it. Like,
yeah, it's just seeing what future sight Glow King has done against Zev's team, and the fact that Zev can get something similar for his team and like put in as much work is crazy to me. So we'll see if he grabs it on, I think, our last week of trades. I think we have our last week of trades coming up on week 5. The full tank, Zev, there's so much to talk about in Zev and Asterisk match, so I'm gonna try to be quick because otherwise we're gonna go forever. But Zev, like you said, Zev is running these full tank HP, these full HP mods, and it's really weird to see, and it's very unexpected because like the Feraligatr, it was full HP, full special defense, according to Asterisk's notes. So it's just like, why not? Why? Where's the damage? All the damage, like you said, you're putting all the work on the snow on Slush Rush. You're putting all the work on these D dances. It's like,
and he got 5 up.
He got 5 up, and I don't think he killed. He got 5 up and didn't get a kill. And I assume he was sheer force. I could be wrong, but I assume he was sheer force. So like, I don't know. Plus him in the shell belt. Now, I understand the concept. I understand the reason. You know, you get a D dance up in 1-2, you start clicking attacks and you start regaining your HP up. But in this moment, and this is just like, this is why this item is better than this item. In this moment, when Zev was encored into D dancing, he could have been getting HP from leftovers.
Yeah,
and not relying on damage for the healing. You know,
especially, and it's even crazier because it's like, you're relying on damage, but even with 5 D dances up,
you're not
he didn't have enough damage.
I don't
to
think
kill
Zev
anything.
had the numbers down right.
Thinking, like,
yeah,
and also like going for, so you have Terra. Oh, well, you know what? Never mind. I was about to say, you have Terra Fairy Lapras in front of you. Why not go for a stab move? But Lapras does get
water absorb. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but that was okay. But like,
I'm curious if Zev knows his speed tiers as well as we think he does, because he did play that Kyurem as if it was scarfed for the longest, and even had Aster confused for a good bit. I'm curious if he just knows, or if the webs mattered that much, or.
But then when he revealed that it wasn't scarfed, there was no need for him, because he brought it back in the blizzard.
Yeah.
And when he blizzarded, it did decent damage. And then he swapped moves when a blizzard probably would have done more damage.
Possibly.
So it was just like, you revealed that you're not scarfed in a situation when you didn't need to reveal that you weren't scarfed. Like, you could have just kept playing it playing it.
Yeah,
playing
I'm just curious to see. But
Zev
is a unique individual. We call him a character, and he just shows us why we call him a character every time. That ended in a 2-0 in favor of Aster. Next on the list is, you want to go? Who do you want to go next?
Don't matter. Which next one you want?
We can do Kansas City. Next on the list is Kansas City Spirits versus the Spikemuth Thieves. That ended in a 3-0 in favor of wRenn and the Spirits. This match was tough for Lupin for sure.
Yeah,
they like wRenn bringing the neutralizing gas wheezing was a great call. It completely walls the superior and it stops it from setting up or doing anything too crazy. And that
was where Lupin's lack of experience comes in sometimes. Like he I think he leaf started and it was like, what happened to my ability?
Yeah.
And the wheezing's just sitting there.
Yeah. For those who don't know,
but he's just so used to like levitate. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for those who don't know,
because then like later on in the match he was just like, I could click this ground, like it was a ground thing, and he was just like, but I'm not gonna be able to hit.
Yeah.
Oh, he was trying to figure out if he was gonna icicle crash, or high horsepower. The raging bolt. He had raging bolt out. He was trying to decide. Like
he predicted the swap into wheezing, but he was like, oh, but if a high horsepower, he swaps into wheezing and he levitates, so it's not gonna hit.
I can't hit it.
Yeah. For those who don't know, ATBA is full of all ranges of skill, from crazy battlers like Aster and Roggen to even some of the newer battlers like Lupin,
and then just trash battlers like me.
So every now and then we do get to see unusual matchups between trainers, and I think this was one of them. As many battles as wRenn has played versus the amount of battles that Lupin has played definitely is a large gap. But that being said, Lupin didn't let it go without picking up some kills. He Calm Mind, Raging Bolt, he OHKO'd that easily, no hesitation, got that Raging Bolt up out of there. So
the Rioprez, he said, man, the Rioprez.
He said, "You're not setting up on me." But yeah, Rioprez was tough. It was tough because the way wRenn set that mon up, it really did cover a lot of its weaknesses with the lightning rods and the Terra grass. And even then, it would have took Lupin being able to predict the switching and clicking acid spray. I believe he had acid spray this season or this week. But even then, I don't know how much damage that would have done, because like solid rockets is the thing. So it could have maybe not done anything, you know. But I mean, like I said, it was just a tough match for Lupin this week. The illusion didn't proc. Do you understand how illusion works? Because even as many battle as I have, I still can't get illusion to work.
Illusion has to have a live Pokemon in the 6th slot of your team. If the Pokemon in your 6th slot is dead, your illusion will not pop.
Got you. Okay, I didn't know.
You won't come out in an illusion.
I didn't know.
But it only shows it has to be in a live Pokemon in the 6th spot for it to work.
The frogs battled it out for sure. The Bellybolt and the Greninja, both trying their hardest to take each other out. With the surfs and the parabolic charges and the focus sashes and the dark pulse. Frogs definitely battled it out.
It was a lot.
And then one thing I did notice at the very beginning was it was unfortunate that Lupin did run Scarf Dragapult, because he couldn't tell that the Torn was also Scarf, because he's so much faster. So like if he was anything else, he would have been like, oh, that's a Scarf. But Dragapult is so much faster.
But also, like, the way he would have found out,
it might have been too late. Yeah, it might have been too late
too. You know, so it's just like,
yeah, it was a tough match for
Lupin. But for wRenn, it was an instant tell. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, I did this just to outspeed,
and it's still outspeed. Yeah.
It's like, all right, buddy.
So next on the list is the Fryslan right? Fryslan Furrets
Furrets
and the
Tampa Bay Mutini.
Ooh, thank you. Struggling. That was probably my favorite match this week. That match was so fun. I'm jealous that I wasn't a part of that match. Are you just saying that
because of the ending? The last,
no, just even the beginning alone was so lit.
Final Gambit right off the
Final Gambit.
Oh yeah.
Final Gambit turn 1 with one of your strongest mons. With one of your strongest mons is such a gamble. It's such a bold play, and for you to just do it turn 1, like, because we all know the power that Annihilate has, especially me. We all know the power that Annihilate has, and like, just, you know, throwing it away. It's such a bold statement. It's just like, hey, I could beat you without it. You know, like it's such a bold statement. But then at the same time, I know he needed the Final Gambit.
You know, like Moltres kind of
cooks.
Like that. I mean, as you know as well.
As I know, Moltres can cook. Moltres can cook.
It could have easily been Terra Ground.
Yeah.
And you know, like that kind of hits Slowbro, that hits Heatran, that hits Sandy Shock.
It's a nasty combo. It's a nasty
combo. Armaliva, like,
so
it hits Masquerade. Like, it can hit pretty much everything on this team for very strong super or neutral damage. So
yeah. And you thought that was it. No. Choice Scarf Copycat Umbreon? What is going on? Hello?
Now Triple be cooking.
Triple was cooking. And that being said, that's not to belittle Shu side of the field, where he's bringing a Power Herb Dig Furret. What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And then clicking Tidy Up and getting the play rough kill on a Roaring Moon.
Oh my goodness.
What? I guess it was like super defensive or something like that.
I don't know.
Booster. It was like special defense boost with the booster in it. I kind of want to see what.
I might have to go look at the set. Yeah, because we usually don't check sets just because it's more fun just to see what happens, you know?
Yeah, I like seeing what happens and being surprised by all the stuff happening in the match instead of like really seeing, oh yeah, I mean, it's also sometimes cool to be like, oh, like, how did he pull this off? And it's like some really intricate set with like special IVs and stuff like the TVs and stuff like that. It's cool to know that, but then it's also just cool to be completely blindsided. Like, oh, he passed that. You know what I mean? Like,
it kind of it gives me the vibe.
If you're not even looking at the bottom right side of the screen,
right?
When the person you're watching, the person who's you're watching, they click something, you're just like, yo, what? So that's what it was for me, because like I don't look at the bottom right screen. I'm not trying to see what they're clicking. I'm listening in 2x speed. Really, I'm watching in 2x speed. So sometimes I'm not fully listening. I'm just watching the screen essentially. So then it's just like Power Herb pops, dig hits, the Heatran, boom, that's gone. Oh, I'm gonna tidy up in front of a Roaring Moon and then pop Play Rough. Like, all right, you got it. The Roaring Moon is dead at that point, you know. Like, I was hoping that it picked up the Body Slam full para against the Globro. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been.
Oh my goodness, that match, guys. Do your favor, of course, watch everyone's match. But if you can only watch one match, go watch that match. It was such a fun match.
And Triple's really intricate with a lot of the stuff. So either side is really good. You know, like Triple's going to tell you the stuff
I watched Triple
going
side.
on for their set. I watched Shu side. So like.
And you can see we're both just excited about how equally excited. It was so good. It was so good, guys.
Really good.
Really good job. Good job, you two. That ended in a 2-0 for Shu, I believe. Whoa. Shu's been cooking this season.
Undefeated. Actually, that was last week. We mentioned that Triple or that Rog was undefeated at this point.
Yeah,
and it was actually Triple.
Yeah,
so going into this. They were both 3-0.
Yeah.
Who comes out on top 4-0 now? Triple 3-1. But like I said, really good match. For two undefeated teams, it lives up.
Oh yeah, it was hype for sure. Next on the list we have the Biggest Bud versus Rast.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Man, this one was really, really good. I got caught off guard for a second that there was no Talonflame.
Oh wait,
I felt like Talonflame has such a really good matchup against me.
Before you get going, I've say this every week so far, and I have to say it this week. Nintendo, get your stuff together. This is another DC. We've had so many DCs this season. Can we stop DCing?
Luckily,
Nintendo.
it was like right in the beginning.
Luckily,
so
it was
like,
in the beginning, but at the end of the day, it's annoying. Yeah. Please, Nintendo. Yeah. Continue.
It was rough. It was rough. But yeah, I mean, like we got the. From this one, the main thing I was just happy about was my Volcanion set was putting in work. And it was just a close match. Like I think we both just kind of brought some good stuff, and like it was close for so long. And I think I had the edge for a like the middle of that, because once I was able to get Gouging Fire, like Gouging Fire started setting up dances, but I brought in the Gouging Fire set was nice too. The sunny day,
yeah.
But you know, and I brought in Politoed on it, set up the rain. He immediately sets up the sun.
Yeah.
And then, but I brought Mudshot on my Politoed for that reason. I was like, just in case he sets up the sun somewhere.
It's so unfortunate that you missed your Muddy Shot. That is ridiculous.
Okay, so that was just extra. That was gonna be extra damage for me, and it was. I think at that point, if I hit that, I outspeed because he had to take a turn off the heal or something. I forget what it was.
You would have easily gotten 2 off safely.
So it was just like I would have gotten another hit off there, but instead I had to sack it off. But even then, I still think I had control though. I wanted to, but see, I felt like if I missed the hypnosis, I lose.
Yeah,
like that's how my mind was thinking. Is
that's true.
If I miss hypnosis, I
and he
hard
danced
lose
or something. Yeah,
I hard lose instantly right there. So I had to make sure I just kept the speed in check, so that way I can always bring in whenever. And I was like, I'll just have to sack Politoed, but whenever it dies, Gouging Fire is not going to be plus speed, and I can bring in Iron Boulder and take it out from there. I'm gonna have to. It's going to have to either die or swap. So, and if I didn't miss the extra mud shot, then like I think even for what his stuff was and the calcs I was doing, the Mighty Cleave might not have KO'd from there. I can't remember what exactly, but it was like a really mix from like how bulky he was and stuff like that. But it was still really good. Volcanion was doing a lot of work with the taunts and the walling the Vaporeon and whittling things down. And the back and forth me and Rast were doing with Volcanion, Rillaboom, Vaporeon, Metagross, Tinglu. It was just a constant back and forth, and it was great. And then Mousehold hit the field, and I had Rillaboom out in a sackable spot. But I wanted to. I felt like I really needed Rillaboom to get past Tinglu late game and potentially Vaporeon late game. So I swapped out, and if I just drum beating there, I believe like the Rillaboom set I brought. If I click drum beating, if he's like a typical Mousehold set where it's
like Jollier Adamant, full offensive EVs.
If it's all that, I OHKO.
Yeah.
So it's just like I took the wrong 50-50. Like I took a chance of like, this gets a kill off, and then I'll be able to bring something else in and go for it. But him clicking tidy up just kind of ruined it. Also, I always forget you don't even need to have. You don't need
hazards. You can just click tidy up. Yeah.
You just click tidy up. That shit always gets me. But like, I think if I just drum beating there, I probably win. I swap instead, and I think I just U-turn. One of the two, swap or U-turn. I just know I didn't stay in.
You hard swap.
Okay. And because why would I U-turn if I'm just gonna die? If I'm in? So I hard swap and
he clicked tidy up, and it was tough for you. I think personally, speaking of tidy up and hazards and whatnot, I think even though it kind of helped you in the end game just because of how often you guys were switching, I think getting your rocks up or the way you got your rocks up was too detrimental to your team. I feel like because like that was your answer to the mouse essentially.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
God, what's the name of Pokemon?
Archaludon?
Yes. I think it was just like, the stamina boost, the defense that it just has off rip. And the resisting, I believe that could have been, but also.
And that was my thing, but also Mousehold gets low kick and that Okos. So
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
So it was just like, fair. And I already knew like going into it, like that's a 50-50. So if it's like, if
why didn't you just run float stuff like he trained?
You're right. But it's like if he just attacks whatever's in front of him and doesn't predict me swapping into Archaludon, then the stamina boost should save me from whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Like if it came down to that situation, and when he did click tidy up and then pop his first pop bomb, if you had your boy then and swapped in, you would have been set.
Yeah.
I think what was also weird was no Grassy Glide.
No
Grassy Glide.
So like
I feel like that might have.
So that hurt me there.
Yeah.
But had I like I said, had I just clicked because so like in that situation, if I have Grassy Glide over drum beating, I mean I could.
Was it just another 50-50?
Because like essentially like he could have still killed me with pop bomb from that range I was at when I came in. So like when the Mousehold dropped on Rillaboom, pop bomb at that very moment KOs.
Yeah.
Drum beating KOs him. Grassy Glide doesn't.
Got you. Okay.
Now, so that's a 50-50 there. He clicks tidy up, and if I had Grassy Glide, I just click Grassy Glide twice. Actually, I mean, no, the terrain wasn't even up at that point anymore. I don't think.
I don't remember if the terrain was up.
I don't think terrain was up, but even if it was, Grassy Glide twice after a tidy up.
It was just like at this moment, at the moment it hit me, I was just like,
this is when I was like, oh, I wish I brought
has
it.
like 50%.
But also, like the rest of my set was going so well the rest of that match. So it's just like,
it was tough.
I just had to sit with it. I was like, like I made this decision based on like I wanted to do speed control with Mudshot and drum beating, so that way like if I'm in a situation where I might need to sack something, and essentially that's what it was. It was like if I get into a situation where Polito's in a bad spot against mainly gouging fire, I have Mudshot to keep it slow so I can come in and kill. If Rillaboom gets in a spot where it's in a sackable spot against gouging fire, I have drum beating to slow until he decides, hey, I'm not going to be able to get speed boost, so I just need to kill this Rillaboom, and then I can always come in with Iron Boulder and get it off the field.
Yeah.
And then that was also the part was like where I left up until the tidy up because I had the rocks up. Where I think where gouging fire was at would have died to the rocks entry, so that's why I was able to like
I said, like it sucks because like rocks, you definitely needed rocks, and you probably got the rocks, you probably set up rocks in the best situation that you had, honestly, because any other spot in that battle, I think you might have gotten swept. Like you couldn't have set that up in front of a gouging or anything like that, so it might have been your best opportunity to do so, but like it was a tough match. It was a tough match,
but it was so close, and like hate losing to a dumb move like that. Pop bomb is a dumb move, but like the timing of it,
it's just
like
well played.
We were fighting really well up to that point, and like I said, I'm more proud of like how well my Volcanion set was going and how well I was keeping it alive.
You played it really well. You actually played Volcanion really well.
God, like Volcanion against. I mean, it was really just kind of, it was walling Vaporeon, it was walling Metagross.
Yeah.
It made it where Gouging Fire can come back really in. Ting Lu, like it just made it made 50-50s with Ting Lu a lot easier for me to handle and harder for him to make a prediction on. Like
it was solid.
It was probably my best set of the season so far, like best working set of the season so far. So I was proud with that.
That you guys ended in a 4-0, despite the numbers being what they are. The match was much closer
to the final score
as far as HPs. And then last on the list is Mutini. versus the one and only Roggen Boggen. This match was tough. I'm not gonna hold you. This match was tough. As far as prepping and planning, it was just tough because he's running dual weather, and if anyone knows, dual weather is just I would know. I've done it for 2 seasons now. Dual weather is just tough to prep against. You know, you prep for the rain, the sun is there. You prep for the sun, the rain is there. You prep for either or, they both show up.
None.
You could prep, none comes up. Yeah, it's just tough. So I tried my best to prep for Rog as well as I could to cover all angles, and I'm glad the way it went is the way it went. But I'm kind of sad that I didn't get to use my NDD set. I had it set up so that I could turn NDD into a rain sweeper, a sun sweeper, or even a proto sweeper. You know, I was running booster energy with skill swap for either Venu chlorophyll or the Overquill's Swift Swim, or even like he had Slitherwing and Walking Wake. So, you know, taking either one of their abilities plus the booster, I was gonna get a proc, and then, you know, fire expanding forces or whatever I need to from there. It would have been cool. Yeah. However, that didn't happen. I am proud of my play with Gyarados, even though we've only played with Gyarados for 1 week before we traded him away. Gyarados did what he needed to do, man. I wasn't expecting Intimidate Overquill. I was expecting this nasty offensive Swift Swim Overquill, you know, but we carried that Earthquake, we carried the taunt just to try to keep it in check, and eventually the gates open, the spot, the golden moment opened for Amphi to hit the field. And I don't know if you guys could tell or not, but I took a page from Shu's book with how he handled Rog last week or the week before. I think it was week 2 with his Vikavolt, running agility Vikavolt. I decided I was gonna run agility Amphi, and sure enough, we found the right moment and set up. We got a unfortunate para for Rog on his clef, but we got the para, and the para high key mattered more than I thought of at the time. At the time, it was just like, oh, that's less damage that I have to take. Let's go. But at the end of the day, if he hit me with that Moonblast and my special attack stat dropped, that might not have happened. That sweep might not have happened. Because I'd be at neutral at that point. And then,
or damage, because then you don't like.
Oh, I don't take the damage from the Venu. You're right.
Yeah.
Not only that, I don't think I would have killed Wake at that point. There's so many moments where that para mattered so much. And then speaking of para, I got a full para on the Torkoal right after, which it didn't click how much that mattered to me as well, because I should have Terra'd that turn, Terra'd Dragon, but I didn't for whatever reason. We have already removed the fairy type off the field. I should have just done it. But that Torkoal could have Scorching Sand, Earthquake. I agility. I agility on it. Yeah, I agility on it. So it could have clicked Earthquake. It could have clicked Scorching Sands. It could have clicked Earth Power. It could have clicked
Fire Blast.
Fire boosted or Sun boosted Fire Blast is going to do numbers to that Amphi. That Amphi was not built defensively whatsoever. So, you know, I think I had a Reflect up. So Torkoal could have easily, you know, bypassed it, and it didn't click either. And it didn't click the Terra until I got to the Venu and was terrified of that Chlorophyll Earth Power. But, you know, Amphi, we set up those double agilities and we outsped everything, and Amphi picked up all the kills. I was terrified of Aqua Jets, just because like Walking Wake Aqua Jet's gonna do damage even with a Reflect up. I think at that range it picks up a kill. You know, I was probably maybe 30%, if that, something like that. And then Overquill, you know, I don't know if Overquill was alive at that point or not. I believe it was, but it just came down to making sure that I had my speed up and that +1, and it was just enough to take out Mr. Roggen Boggen. You know, and now we're even. You know, I'm not as salty about that Annihilate sweep a couple of seasons ago. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But that is going to be all the matches this week. MVP race. We have Mousehole with 9 kills, Great Tusk with 9 kills, Sylveon with 8, Venu with 8, Amphi with 7. Standings. I think I usually do that in reverse order. Standings is Shu in first. I am in second. Triple in third. Aster in fourth. And Rast in fifth. And transactions.
I believe this coming week is the last week for who?
I believe so.
Or yeah, the last week for people to make moves. So I think week 6, if anybody makes moves here, week 6, their new mines will be available to them. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think what were the moves? Week 5 moves. So I swapped out Gyarados for Tornadus Eye. Then Spikemuth Thieves swapped out Colossal for Sandslash. They swapped out Hisuian Zoroark for Cinderace. Venu now is Terra Fairy instead of Ground. They swapped out Fargo Force swapped out Clef for Excadrill. Thunderous Eye for Hisuian Zoroark. Slitherwing for Screamtail. I'm glad I don't have to face this later. Oh my god. Fortress for Palmot. Then I believe Crocalor, gosh, is now Terra Fairy now, I believe. Yeah. And then we have you who swapped out Politoed for my boy Flygon, and you swapped out your boy Beartick for Sneasel. I think that is schedule. Week 5 we have the virtual battlers versus me, Fargo Force versus Bud, Kansas City Spirits versus Zev. I should probably name the teams. They're on screen, you'll see.
Alto, Mare, Slush, Press. Got the Los Angeles Pyro Ball, which is Rast against Spikemuth Thieves, which is Lupin, and Rio's Jalisco Hawluchas versus Shoes Tampa Bay Mutini.
Yeah, so next week seems like fun, some good matchups, some bad matchups. We'll see what happens. Make sure you follow, all the trainers. Make sure make sure you like, subscribe if you want to. It is what it is. Let us know who you think is your favorite, your team or your favorite Pokemon in the season in the league. That's going to be it from us. We will catch you guys next week. We out.
Peace.
Peace.